Hello and welcome back to 9 and 3. You'll remember 2 years ago I sat here and planned a trip to go to Europe, pick up an Audi R8 and drive it all around and then ship it home. Well, this was the car, it became this car, and I vlogged the whole story. It's on my channel, there are about 12 videos, it's about 2 hours worth of footage, and that footage covers every little detail. I released it all in real time, so if you're following along, that's awesome. If you didn't capture that, and you want to just capture the pure driving portion of that trip, the 6,000 kilometers over 30 days from England, through France, through all the French Alps, through Italy, and then back through France, and then returning it to UK, getting ready to send the car home. This is the video for you. I have edited down that to a 40-minute, action-packed driving experience. All the different ins and outs of driving through Europe, the joy of driving this particular car through Europe. And I think you're going to really enjoy it. So we begin the journey in the small town of Swindon, where Ricky Elder from RE Performance had put a clutch into the car for me, new clutch, and done a full service on the car, getting ready for the big trip.
But no, it's lovely. So
yeah, it looks tidy.
Full service,
yep.
Clutch.
Yep.
Trying to think what else we've done for you.
So what did we do?
Yeah,
clutch. I think there was a little niggly oil misting, which you said wasn't major.
Nah, nothing too major. We've just topped to bottomed it for you, really. But
yep. So this is what's your process back here? Look at this. I mean, this is like, I've never seen so many R8s in one place.
There isn't a process. We fly by the seat of our pants.
I love it.
This is organised chaos.
No, that's cool. Yeah, brilliant. All right, thank you so much.
Cool, no worries.
Awesome.
All right,
cheers.
have a safe trip home.
Thanks, will do.
Bye.
Thanks, Ricky.
It's Friday the 22nd of July. Our main story is that protests over the price of fuel are likely to cause disruption on motorways today, just as millions of drivers try to set off on their summer holidays.
So this is Avon and Somerset Police who are saying slow-moving roadblocks are planned for the M4.
Okay, we left Swindon at 1:15. It's now 10 to 9, and we've been essentially in stop-start traffic jam on what turns out to be the busiest day of the year for the Channel Tunnel, and apparently half the French workers didn't turn up to work today for some reason, and because of that they're very short-staffed and there's a technical problem, so we missed our train by probably 3 hours now, and we are just in a queue basically to cars merging together. So we don't know how long we're going to be in this queue. The queues just snake around up and down, and we haven't shown our passports or anything yet. Hello. Hello. Two. Bonjour and welcome. It was 1 AM by the time we arrived at our hotel in France, and the hotel is 1 hour from Calais, so we must have got into France at midnight, 1 hour's drive, 1 AM. Now we get to the hotel and it's locked. We're locked out. Absolute crazy. We had phoned ahead to say we're going to be late, but we think they misinterpreted that as you're not coming today. We drive around for an hour and a half and we try 4 or 5 hotels, everything full. So a little stressful, and at 1:30 AM we returned to the hotel car park and we slept in this car. And I can assure you, it is not a comfortable sleep. It is kind of like a sleep standing up type situation, whereby I'm kind of sitting exactly like this because you can't recline this, and it's just like this. So that was not enjoyable, but it was memorable. It was a memory. So fantastic 2 days just driving around these beautiful French roads like I am now. It's harvesting season at the moment, so the wheat is in full bloom. There are combines out working. You know, right now it's 29 degrees. Windows are open. beautiful day. What's the R8 like? Well, to be honest, in little small French villages, it's like a bull in a china shop. This is a, you know, you can't sort of lightly feather the accelerator and try and nimbly maneuver yourself into a car park. So it gets quite chaotic, it draws attention, but it's small, you know, it's a small car, and because of that, it's actually not too bad once you get the hang of it. However, having been driving from Swindon to and then the stop-starts traffic on the M20 up to the shuttle terminal in Foxton, you know, it's kind of like clutch in, clutch out, clutch in, clutch out. It's not good. It's not good for the car. It's not good for my leg. It's not good for my old 50-year-old leg. It's c'est la vie. That's what it is. C'est la vie. Driving through these little roads, it's just magical. I mean, it's pretty cool. Turns out this particular one that I'm on right now, it's a one-way in this way. This morning I learned that. I wasn't paying attention, just quietly. The clinkety clank of these gears is so cool. Let's give it the jandle, shall we? A little bit of jandle. Oh yeah, baby. That's what we're talking about. That's crazy. The V10 is a mighty engine. So tomorrow we make the trip from here into Paris, and from Paris it's on to Lake Annecy, and from there we're heading into those French Alps, and we're meandering our way through those amazing driving roads that we all love. So we spent 3 nights in Noyelles-sur-Mer, we spent 5 nights in Paris, and I have a separate video on all of that. But for now, let's get back on the road. Parking your car in Paris, really super easy. Lots of car parks like this one underground. This is 4 levels down underground, heaps of them, and not super expensive. I want to say 40 or 50 euros a day if you book in advance, and then kaboom. I'm going to now go upstairs. Christine's waiting outside the unit. We're gonna get this car packed for our trip to Annecy. So let's pack him up. We've brought the car around because it's early on Saturday morning and it's a good time to be doing it. So we've got the drone in there. Now remember, it gets really hot inside here, so we're only putting clothes in here. We've got all our toiletries taken out of our bags that go in here because it's too hot. I think I'll leave the drone in there though. Now this stuff here is going to go in the front with Christine because there's some chocolates in there, and we've got a chili bag. That'll go under there. It's tight. The stuff in this bag we've flattened right down, and we're going to get it in behind the seat. So you can only do this if you're short like Christine and I. You can shove one bag in there, and then you can put the seat back somewhat, but not the full way, but enough. Computer gear, that's going to go in the front. There's a little bit of space left, like this. And we're talking like snug, and I tested this at home, and this is very snug. That's it. You definitely wouldn't want to do this if it was not a Saturday morning at 8 o'clock, because this would be complete chaos and you couldn't bring the car in here. And if you could, it would probably take you 50 minutes to get it this far. Anyway, that's it. We're on our way to Annecy now, so see you there. We found our lovely twin car. Nice. These guys were following us on the motorway, and exactly the same colour specification. It's now 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I think we left at 8 So 2 stops for petrol, we're here. Hello, welcome to Lake Annecy. We spent the night here last night and had a bit of a hairy drive up on a very narrow road, which was a 2-way, seemed like a 1-way to get up here. So we've got to somehow navigate our way back down that. Breakfast this morning at a great coffee spot, into the market, a little bit of views around Annecy. Beautiful, beautiful town, highly recommend. We've been here a couple of times before, but only in the winter, so really different in the summertime. And one more day here, and then tomorrow we head towards the Swiss Alps, but it's not actually in Switzerland, but it's like a Swiss chalet in France. So a Swiss-French chalet, that's tomorrow. So it's fair to say that driving down this hill is significantly easier than driving up it. And fortunately we've got a car in front of us now, so they are like the sacrificial lamb in front of us that is giving us some indication of somebody coming the other way. Down viaduct. We're just on a little drive. Well, when I say little drive, we're probably an hour's drive from Annecy, and we're just basing up in the French Alps, and we're just randomly exploring. So some of this area is where we'll be coming back tomorrow. This particular stretch of road is not. Oh, it sounds good. Sounding really good. I'm actually just temporarily opening up the little back window. The giddy up roads, the Jandal roads. Don't understand is how on earth do the French manage to get roads that are actually so good. You know, they're so smooth. They're not full of bumps. They're not full of potholes. I don't know what's going on. New Zealand, listen well. Come over, spend some taxpayer money on a research trip and have a look at these roads, because these roads get far more traffic than we get, and yet there are no bumps, super smooth. How is this possible? How is this possible? We're in a little town or a village called Le Rodo, and wow, amazing. It's obviously a little alpine village with a lot of goat skins, cow skins, cow meat. And I guess this is where people come in the winter to ski. But behind me you can see, of course, Mont Blanc, which is looking stunning, and even in the heat wave it's still got plenty of snow on it. Just coming through now the lovely windies. Wow, this was the right choice. This is one of the Tour de France routes, and I can see why. It's incredible. incredibly steep, lots of switchbacks, and it's obviously very popular for cars and, more importantly, cyclists. Lots of cyclists, motorcyclists. And we're only a couple of minutes now from our hotel up here in the Alps, so we're going to be spending a night here and kind of exploring this area a little bit as well. We have reached our destination, which is the Cedars Hotel. Time for a beer, time for some editing. Incredible day of driving up these roads. I mean, seriously, some amazing driving roads today, and it's only going to get better tomorrow as we continue through. Superb weather, superb day, great end to the day, and just fantastic. I'm looking forward to editing some of this together and getting on with the rest of the trip, so I'll see you soon. Good morning. You join us on the twisty roads of Saint-Sulien-d'Ave. So we have a 3-hour drive to Gap today, and we go via Grenoble. We might stop there briefly. We did come on this road yesterday, so I thought I'd just film a little bit of road driving. It's actually remarkably difficult to film here because there's just nowhere to stop safely. It's really a one lane with a few passing bays, and there's a lot of cars and a lot of cycles on it, and people are already, as you can see, we're already hitting some traffic now. But I did manage to find a place to pull over and get a little bit of drone shots. We're not specifically filming this car now, we're just filming the roads and the cars with the drone, because it's turned out to be just, you really need a dedicated separate drone operator. I imagine this in the winter time is probably just covered in snow. Lots and lots of ski lifts and ski fields, and the place that we stayed last night, the Cedars, that is right at the base of a ski lift as well, chair lift. In the summertime though, you've got mountain bikers, you've got, we saw like an electric go-kart which sort of had cycle type wheels on it. One of the coolest parts about traveling is, of course, all the different interesting Airbnbs that we get to stay in. This one here was a treehouse, so I am including it. Now remember, there is another video in my channel which kind of covers the entire trip, including all of the places that we stayed. This one had breakfast that you pull up on a rope and squirrels outside and all kinds of crazy things. It was accessible on a rather dubious track, which is why I've included it. It's the first and only time that we went off-roading in the R8. So let's just pick up with us leaving and heading to our next destination. So we had a lovely night in the treehouse, and we've done a bit of off-roading to get here, which was not expected, and I wasn't super thrilled about, to be honest. So very rough roads to get in, and very dusty as well, so neither of those two things make me excited. However, just taking it really easy going back down, and we hit Gap, and then from Gap I'm going to find a car wash. I'm going to wash this dust off, and then we're heading to Nice. Route de la Bonette, it is the highest in Europe. That's what we're talking about. And whenever you see these symbols, okay, whenever you see them, it's a very good sign, because it usually means it's a very good road. And that is where we are now. Just a little bit excited. So there you go, tallest mountain or road or driving route in Europe of all places. It's a pretty big claim. Now it's 18 degrees up here, whereas it's 32 degrees down at the bottom. So that's one way to measure just exactly how high we are. Barriers on the right hand side? No, not really. It's just straight down. I definitely wouldn't want to be driving this at night time. Bikes, they just go down the center of the road as if there are no other cars on the road, and by bikes I'm sort of talking about motorcycles more than push bikes, although push bikes can come flying up from anywhere. It is incredible, truly incredible. What a great choice of road to travel from Gap to Nice. So I'm going to put the map that we've taken, the route that we've taken, up on the screen, and you'll see exactly where we've been. And I would highly recommend the first section through past the lake. Amazing, very wide, good roads. This one here on the second sort of hill climb up and down, narrower roads, tighter for passing, but less traffic, I suppose, on the road. But you just have to be careful. You've got sort of big, wide, sweeping curves. Now I don't know what this is that we're about to enter into, but this is worthy of pulling over. So they're actually barracks, and they've been kept as a memorial to remember the First and Second World War troops. Literally, the road just goes right through one side and to the other. And this is the road. This is the pass that we've just been driving through. So incredibly quiet out here. So this concludes a 7-hour drive from Gap to Nice via Route de la Bonette, 2,800 meters above sea level, the highest mountain pass in Europe. It was awesome, highly recommend. We spent a night or two in Nice, and then we started to head into Italy. The roads in Italy, and these roads in particular, even the freeways, very similar to New Zealand roads. Really poor, full of potholes. The drivers are similar to New Zealand drivers, really poor, really erratic. They hog the fast lane. Nothing like France, nothing like Germany. This is completely crazy. And the way that the Italians try and fix all of this, which is just like in New Zealand, over-police the roads. So I'm a little bit over the driving in Italy and looking forward to getting back into France. Oh, shivers. That would hurt. That's not the way to do it. Really early start to the morning. We're trying to be very super quiet to leave the hotel, so this is going to be tricky. Okay, I know this is going to be loud. Early morning driving. This is the earliest we've been, 6:40 in the morning. We left at 6 o'clock to get the two reasons. One, so that we could see a bit of a sunrise as we go, which is we're achieving that's for sure. And secondly, it's quite a long day. We're going to be driving from La Spezia to Modena, which is where we're going to go and see the Ferrari Museum and the Lamborghini Museum. We're also stopping on the way to Parma for some breakfast and another tunnel. Woohoo! Once again, just in order to keep this show on the road, we are going to skip past our trip to the Ferrari factory and the Lamborghini factory. Both of those are shown in detail in other videos, which I'll link down below. You can look at those afterwards. Let's just get back on the road in Italy and continue our loop around. 41 degrees outside, and we're at another toll booth. We're just approaching Florence. Oh, there we go, look. There we go, we're approaching Florence. Oh, and I should say at this point in the trip, we've done 3,224 kilometers. Welcome to Florence. Drive into the centre of Florence, not recommended. Here we are in the centre. It's 41 degrees or so, and these guys have stripped down to keep cool. I'm clothed up with some new sponsorship clothing, which is pretty exciting for the channel. So an awesome day trip, 466 kilometres, 6 hours of driving around Italy to go and see the Ferrari factory, the Lamborghini factory, and of course stopping off in Florence. We did pass a rather eventful roadside fire as we crossed a bridge. I think we may have just got over in time before they closed the road. And now we're heading back into France. 3 hours of driving today. Last night I went through and I computed data from the car, such as your speed, when you turn the car on, your location, when you turn the car off, the time between those two locations, all those kind of things. And you can sort of see the breakdown of hours per day and of kilometers traveled per day, that kind of thing. Now this road from La Spezia back into France, it feels like around 1/3 of the driving is in tunnels. Obviously in a tunnel now, and we're about to exit the tunnel. So you have this little system where your glasses go on like this, and then your glasses go off into the next tunnel, and then we're just about to come out of a tunnel again, and you're in and out of tunnels. And here we are back in another tunnel. Good morning from Ez, and it is a good morning. I mean, out behind me you can see Nice around the corner, so that's the coast, and Nice is around there, and we're in Ez, which is Old Town. We're staying at this hotel called the Chèvre d'Or, which is the Golden Goat. We've got our car parked up here in the VIP, probably the best car park the car has ever had. It's probably going to rate this the best hotel that the car has stayed in, and it's not a bad hotel, so we're going to go down to breakfast. Hello and welcome. You find me in a little town of Log, which is where we stayed last night, and a bit of a failed stay, to be honest. It was a pretty horrible chateau, nothing like the photos. It's the first and probably, hopefully, only failure. So we were going to be 2 nights here. We've decided to bail because it was so bad, and we're now heading up north to another chateau for 3 nights. But this is a 3-hour journey through the Verdon Gorge, which is a beautiful drive. We've done it before in the Audi S5. We're going to do it in the R8 today. We're at the base of the Verdon Gorge now. We've just driven over here, and we're going to try and drive up into the gorge. But have a look at this. It's pretty impressive. These people are kayaking and riding their little boats through the gorge, and it's like the Grand Canyon of France, apparently. But the gorge itself actually comes out to this amazing lake over here. Very, very popular, especially on a hot day like this. Incredible. So over here is regular parking, and then over here this is R8 parking. We've just pulled over a little bit, and we're standing and looking down at the bridge that we were just at moments ago. And we're going to keep winding our way up, so we better get the old mate GoPro on. There we go. Record. Driving through the Verdon Gorge. It's quite different to all the other mountain passes in that there is literally a sheer drop on my right hand side, and there's about a 400mm high stone barrier that prevents you from going into that. The road though is fairly wide, as in, yes, you probably have 2 camper vans just crossing, and there are quite a few campers that come up here because they come up to see the view like we are. So this is one of the most busy roads that we've been on in terms of the twisties, but still worth doing because the views are just spectacular as well, with that gorge down below. Welcome back. We're 24 days into the trip now. 24 days, 4,000 250 kilometers from Swindon. We've been staying in the chateau here for 2 nights. We've got one more night here, and only now in this whole trip we have actually planned the rest of the trip. We actually had no idea where we were going to be going from here as we head back. We knew we had to get to London by, I don't know, the 24th or 23rd, whatever the dates were, and we do have an Airbnb booked for central London because that was a given that we were going to be there, but we had nothing booked for about 7 days, 8 days, and we've sort of been booking these as we've gone. So only this morning we booked and made the decision to actually go back to Annecy for a night tonight, to the same place, because we actually liked Annecy. There was quite a bit we still haven't really explored. There's a lot to explore. Right now though, we're heading for Sisteron, which is only 10 minutes away, and it's famous for a citadel and a rock. Check out the number of car magazines in France. Just car magazines. Pretty cool. Très cool. A big popular town like Annecy, when it's top peak tourist season and you've got a car and you want to come in somewhere to the city, top tip, come real early, like 7, 8 in the morning before all the craziness starts, and that way you'll find a car park, you'll be able to come into the streets really freely and easily, and yeah, you can be set for the day. We're now on our way to Paris. The trip from Annecy to Paris is a little bit dull. It's just really motorway driving for 5.5 hours. It's going to push our speedo clock over to 5,000 kilometers though, which is cool. Right, we're driving up to the old petrol. Now this is a second attempt at getting petrol because the last place was out of 98, which is a disaster. Fuel economy, I've been getting 12.5 litres per 100 kilometres. Is that good? Comment below. I have no idea if that's good. Don't really ever usually look at fuel economy measures and points, but you know, we have been driving spiritedly. We ain't driving no Prius here, baby. Okay, there we go. In fact, if I ever drive a Prius, unsubscribe. What's really cool is just through there, can you see that Honda Civic? There it is, there it is. Okay, that is my second car. Awesome, awesome. I have not seen one. Here's another interesting fact, as we're stuck in this traffic jam to Paris. Have not seen another R8 on the entire trip. There you go. How random is that? I would have thought we'd at least seen one. None. Welcome back to Paris. We love Paris. No one ever got fired, as far as I'm aware, for booking a trip to Paris. I mean, it's awesome. There's so much to see. You could spend months here. We made a separate video on it. You can check that out in the description below. We've just driven up from Paris and we've arrived into Arras. Arras is an hour and a half north of Paris, and we'll be staying here tonight in preparation for a mid-morning boarding of the Eurotunnel. This time we're planning to get to the Eurotunnel just a tad earlier than before. As we get closer north, everything's starting to remind me of England. The houses start to look a bit more English, more made of brick, the way they're spaced out. It's very dreary. The weather is dreary. It was raining and drizzly. It's 10 degrees colder than everywhere else. You just know that you're getting closer and closer to getting back to England. We've arrived at the Eurotunnel French side, and we've arrived a little bit early because, you know, you just want to be careful that you don't get into a big long queue like we did when we came over here. Completely the opposite, dead quiet. In fact, they've said you've arrived early, so why don't you just get on the next train? So there we go. We are on our way now to Grande Bretagne. So as we board the Shuttle, we have 5,777 kilometers from Swindon, and we get on the Shuttle and we get ourselves back into the UK. This is a top tip. If if you've got a low car like this is you go into the lane with the trucks and the high vehicles, the high vehicle lane, and then you don't have to go up any ramps in order to get onto the shuttle. Okay, I'm really conscious that this is a Sunday morning and it's 6 o'clock and I'm going to start up a big V10 engine, so I'm going to do it as quickly as possible and just get out of here. I think that's my plan. Main reason to get out of London this early is no cars on the road, which is great. Oh, top down, a little bit fresh, but I thought you got to really, right? Unlike the very beginning of the trip, I'm actually turning on the heater. Well, the heater was on permanently, wasn't it? Here we go. So just a matter of staying out of the bus lanes. I'll just throw those up. A young guy at the traffic lights back there just wound down his windows like, how much for that bad boy? He loves it. Big smile on his face. I mean, I don't know, there's something about the R8 that resonates in people. Obviously the exhaust, but also I think just the car itself is so iconic, and it's so rare compared to cars like a Porsche that it makes it a little bit more interesting. And I guess it's reachable for a lot of people. It's not a Lamborghini or Ferrari, so it's within reach, and it's the entry-level supercar, they say. Although there's debate over whether it is a supercar. Now, funny thing, the only other R8 we saw on the entire trip, apart from Ricky's 20 or so in his backyard, was when we got back to London, just before we arrived at our Airbnb, another V10 Spyder. Look at that, sunrise, sunrise. If you've ever driven through London, you would know that it's just diabolical. This traffic, everything takes hours and hours. Try driving at 6 o'clock on a Sunday morning. We're out of London already. It's just been a couple of minutes. Well, we're in Hammersmith and we're well on our way out of central London, and just probably shaved an hour off what it would normally take. So you might ask yourself, how is this even a road? I don't know is the answer. It's more like a track through the bush, although it is a very well sealed road. Pretty cool. Now, why am I on this crazy road? Well, it's because I haven't quite done 6,000 kilometers and I'm cheating just a little bit. I'm taking it slow and I'm literally just a few hundred meters from dropping the car now. It's literally, there it goes, 6,000, and we're just pulling it up here. Well, thank you for watching. A very bittersweet end, having to drop the car knowing that it's probably never going to be driven on those beautiful European roads again. The car's at home, it's safe and sound. If you want to follow on to the next video, you'll see us collecting the car in Auckland and driving it all the way down to Christchurch, which is where it is now. But I am planning another trip to Europe this year. So don't forget to subscribe and like, and look out for that video because that's going to be just as exciting. I'll see you next time.